After the car accident, my girlfriend developed selective amnesia. She remembered everyone but me. I stayed by her side day and night, helping with her therapy, telling her stories about our life together. In return, she treated me like a stalker. To keep me away, she even got a new boyfriend. I told myself she was just sick, and I waited for her, no questions asked. That all ended the day I saw her text with a friend. "I don't have amnesia," she'd written. "I just want to test how much Ethan really loves me. If he passes, I'll marry him." Her friend warned her not to take it too far. Sophia's reply was brimming with confidence. "Don't worry. No matter what I do, Ethan will never leave me." In that single moment, the hope I'd been clinging to shattered. I decided to forget her. I made an appointment with my neurosurgeon. The surgery to remove the tumor growing in my brain came with a high risk of memory loss, but I was willing to take that chance. He urged me to reconsider, stressing the high probability of amnesia. But I couldn't wait. Without the surgery, the tumor was a death sentence. He sighed, scheduling it for a month out. Leaving his office, I practically collided with a couple walking toward me. I was about to apologize when I heard Sophia's shriek. "You're a freak. Why are you following me?" she cried. "I have a boyfriend now. Just give it up." I stared at her, a bitter, ironic laugh building in my chest. 7 years together, and she was putting on a show to test me. Fine. If she loved acting so much, she could keep the stage. I was done. I cut her off. "Don't worry. I won't be bothering you anymore." I met her eyes. "Sophia, I'm officially breaking up with you." She blinked, a flicker of disbelief crossing her face before the mask slammed back down. "What are you talking about? I don't even know you. How can we break up?" She clung to the arm of her new guy, Leo, playing the victim. Leo wrapped an arm around her, stroking her hair. "It's okay, Soph. I'll protect you." He shot me a triumphant, mocking look. "Hey man, I'd appreciate it if you stop harassing my girlfriend. Keep it up, and we're gonna have a problem." A hollow laugh escaped me. "You won't. You two are perfect for each other." I turned and walked away. If we were really over, I needed to get my things from her place. I'd only moved in because she'd said she was lonely. Now that she had Leo, I was sure she wouldn't need me anymore. I took an Uber to her apartment and tried to call. I shouldn't have been surprised. She'd already blocked me on everything. A clean break. She couldn't wait to be rid of me. With no way to reach her, I knocked. After a few minutes of silence, I tried the keypad. Her birthday. The lock clicked open. She hadn't changed the code. The sight that greeted me was a couple tangled together on the sofa, clothes in disarray. For a second, I thought she'd been robbed. Then my eyes adjusted. It was Sophia and Leo. Stalker. Sophia screamed when she saw me. I rolled my eyes. What a performance. After 7 years, what part of her did she think I hadn't seen? Leo scrambled up, pulling a blanket over her bare shoulders. He stood there, shirtless, pointing a finger at me. "Who the hell let you in? This is breaking and entering. I can call the cops on you." I gestured to a suitcase packed and waiting in the corner. "I'm just here for my stuff." I'd only been gone on a business trip for a few days, and she'd already packed me up. A humorless smile touched my lips. She must have been planning this little trade-in for a while. Leo tried to block my way. "How do we know that's yours? It doesn't have your name on it. Don't think you can just take advantage of Sophia's amnesia and walk off with her things." I pulled out my phone, ready to dial 911. "I have receipts for everything. We can call the police if you want. Settle this properly." Sophia shot up, slapping the phone out of my hand. She pointed at the suitcase. "If that junk is yours, then take it and get out. Don't interrupt my boyfriend and me." A cold smile spread across my face. I grabbed the handle of my suitcase and took one last look around the apartment we had shared for years. She probably wouldn't remember that 90% of the furniture in this room was bought and paid for by me, and I had the receipts for all of it. When she first moved in, the place was a blank canvas. I was the one who spent the time, the money, the energy turning it into a home. The renovations and furniture cost me tens of thousands of dollars. If we were to settle accounts, she'd owe me a fortune. If the cops got involved, she'd be the one in the wrong. That's why she was so desperate for me to leave. "Wouldn't want to bother you, too." "All the best," I said, my voice dripping with sarcasm as I dragged the suitcase behind me and left. The next day at work, I received an email from HR. A demotion notice. I went to the HR manager's office to find out what was going on. He looked at me with pity. "Ethan, this came down from the CEO. You'll have to ask her." The CEO of the company was Sophia. I'd had a great job in New York City, already a design director. But for Sophia, I'd quit without a second thought and moved to Austin to be with her. She was always complaining. "It's so hard for a woman to build a business alone. Come work at my company and help me." After we started dating, she said she was worried about office gossip, so she only gave me a senior designer position. It was already a step down from director. And now, she was demoting me again, to be Leo's assistant. It was a blatant move to humiliate me. I stormed into her office and threw the notice on her desk. What is this? Are you trying to force me out? My voice was shaking with anger. Fine. You win. I quit. Today. Sophia glanced up, pretending not to recognize me. Oh, so the stalker works at my company? A new employee should be happy to get an assistant role. What more could you want? Stop acting. I shot back. Even if you don't remember me, one look at my file would tell you I've been here for 7 years. Her eyes widened in mock surprise. She theatrically flipped through my portfolio and scoffed. And you have a nerve to say you've worked here 7 years? Look at this stuff. It's garbage. You're not fit to be a designer. An administrative assistant is all you're good for. I gave her a dead-eyed stare. She might be the CEO, but she didn't know the first thing about design. The entire design department reported to me. For her, a person with zero aesthetic sense, to critique my work was laughable. If you're insisting on the demotion, then I'm done, I said, refusing her terms. Sophia seemed to have anticipated this. She pressed her advantage. You can quit, but you'll have to handle the transition and give a month's notice. Otherwise, you won't see a dime of your final paycheck. I thought about the upcoming surgery and the medical bills. I couldn't afford to be reckless. I sent her my official resignation email. Whether she approved it or not, I could legally walk away in 30 days. Seeing me back down, Sophia pushed even harder. She had my desk moved out of the design department and into a corner of the executive office suite. She made Leo my official supervisor, letting him lord his new power over me every single day. I gritted my teeth and endured it. All I had to do was survive 30 days, collect my check, and leave. But they wouldn't even let me have that. On my third day in the new spot, Leo approached my desk holding a payment authorization form. Ethan, you're in deep trouble, he said, his voice grave. This payment to the client was supposed to be for $10 million. You added an extra zero. It went out as $100 million. You just cost the company $90 million. How are you going to pay that back? My blood ran cold. If what he was saying was true, I'd be working for the rest of my life and still be in debt. I snatched the form from his hand, but I had no memory of ever seeing it. In that moment, I knew this was a setup, a blatant frame job. Leo, what proof do you have that I processed this? I demanded, my voice low and steady. He was ready for that. He pointed to his signature on the bottom line. It's your signature right here as the processor. There's no denying it. I looked closely. It was my name, all right. But the handwriting was a clumsy imitation. Not even close. There was no way I was taking the fall for this. You're the one who handles all the finances. When would I ever be signing off on payments? I shot back. And what kind of $100 million transaction doesn't require the CEO's final approval? You really think a junior assistant like me has that kind of authority? Leo was determined to pin this on me. He ignored all logic and inventive story. I seem to recall I was out sick yesterday. I asked you to cover for me. You were in charge for half a day, and you caused this disaster. Were you trying to ruin me? He turned to Sophia, his face a mask of wounded innocence. I scoffed and looked at her too. Surely she wouldn't fall for such a flimsy lie. Leo had been out yesterday, that was true, but he'd never asked me to cover for him. Do you actually believe him? I asked her, my voice dripping with disbelief. Sophia's hand flew across my face, the slap echoing in the silent office. He's my boyfriend. Of course I believe him. Who am I supposed to believe? You? A toxic, obsessed freak? Why would you try to frame him? Are you that jealous? I touched my stinging cheek, my eyes burning. 7 years together, and I meant less to her than this guy she'd just met. She had truly erased every last bit of our history. I didn't argue. I just silently called 911. The forgery was amateurish. The police saw it immediately. In fact, the entire form was fake. The company hadn't had a transaction that large in months. They cleared my name and gave Leo a stern talking to. Leo, his eyes red and welling with tears, claimed it was all just a joke and that he never thought I'd take it so seriously. A joke? A joke that could have bankrupted me for life? Who was he kidding? Sophia raised her hand to slap me again. This time I caught her wrist. He's the one who tried to frame me. I roar, my voice raw. It's all been proven. What right do you have to hit me? She struggled to pull her hand free, her voice shrill as she defended him. He already said it was a joke. But you? You had to blow it up. You even called the cops. Do you know this could give him a record? He brought it on himself. I spat. With that, I started packing my things. This job was impossible. I didn't care if I didn't get a cent of my last paycheck. I was done. Sophia saw me heading for the door with my box and panicked, blocking my path. You dare walk out? You don't want her money. I pushed past her, my resolve firm. But I'd only taken a few steps before the world tilted, and everything went black. I hit the floor with a thud. The last thing I heard was Sophia's panic scream. Ethan, I was rushed to the hospital. When I woke up, Sophia was for one sitting by my bed. What's wrong with you? Why did you just collapse? She demanded. The doctor standing nearby started to speak, but I silenced him with a look. I turned my head to Sophia. What's wrong with me? Do you care? In what capacity are you even asking, Miss Cole? Sophia's face hardened. I don't care what's wrong with you. I'm just worried you'll die in my office and bring me bad luck. A bitter smile twisted my lips. You can rest easy, Ms. Cole. I've already quit. After leaving the hospital, I started working at a friend's design firm. I never expected Leo to track me down there. He arranged a meeting under the pretense of discussing business and led me into a conference room. The moment we were inside, he grabbed a kettle of hot water he'd prepared, poured it over his own head, and then started howling, pointing a finger at me. Ethan, you're a monster. Are you trying to kill me? This water is boiling. It could kill someone. I was stunned for a second, then a grimly amused laugh escaped me. The water was lukewarm at best. You wouldn't even use it to wash your hair. The next second, the door burst open and Sophia rushed in. She frantically checked Leo's head, finding not even a hint of redness on his scalp. He was a mess, but completely unharmed. Yet Leo kept screaming. It hurts so much. I'm going to die. Soph, if my face is scarred, will you still want me? Sophia cradled his head, her voice dripping with affection. No matter what happens to you, I'll always want you. To escalate the drama, Leo begged her to call an ambulance. Completely led by the nose, she actually pulled out her phone and dialed 911. The performance was so transparent. Sophia was a sharp woman. Could she really not see through it? Was she just playing along? Or had they rehearsed this whole scene beforehand? Either way, the irony was suffocating. Why don't you call a director while you're at it? I said calmly. After a performance like that, you two deserve Oscars. My composure seemed to enrage Sophia. She spun around and slapped me hard across the face. What's that supposed to mean, Ethan? You hurt my man, and now you're being a smartass? Apologize to him, right now, or I'll make sure you're run out of Austin. I touched my throbbing cheek, a chill spreading through my heart. She'd hit me, her boyfriend of 7 years, to defend a man she'd known for less than a month. And now she was threatening to destroy me. Fine, I'd leave Austin. I only came here for her anyway. Now that we're broken up, I had nothing tying me down. Fine, I'll go. Just don't regret it. I started to pack my things. When Sophia saw I wasn't begging, she panicked. You think you can just walk away? I just signed $1 million contract with your boss, with a clause specifically naming you as the lead designer. If you don't finish the project, both you and this company will have to pay a penalty 10 times that amount. She expertly dialed my boss's number. He rushed over, and after hearing her side of the story, he immediately started pressuring me. Ethan, you offended a client. You're in the wrong here. Please, just apologize to Ms. Cole and Mr. Vance. I'm begging you. A $10 million penalty. This little company of mine can't survive that. My boss had done me a favor by hiring me. I couldn't ruin him. I could leave, but I definitely didn't have $10 million. I had to swallow my pride. Leo watched me, his eyes gleaming with triumph. He then turned to Sophia with a magnanimous air. Soph, maybe we should just let it go. I'll be fine. I don't want you to get upset over this. Sophia's face was a thundercloud as she glared at me, as if I were an ant she could crush without a second thought. No, he has to apologize. Otherwise, he can get ready to lose everything. I knew she could do it. To avoid ruining my family and my boss, I clenched my fists and choked out the words. I'm sorry. I was wrong. Seeing me submit, Sophia's expression softened slightly, a flicker of amusement in her eyes. See? It's better when you just behave. Now, tell me, what exactly were you wrong about? I looked at her beautiful, cruel face and felt like I was staring at a stranger. My voice was flat and detached when I spoke. I shouldn't have offended the great Sophia Cole and her precious darling. I sincerely apologize and wish you two a long and happy life together. My attitude clearly displeased her. She had someone take Leo to the hospital, then turned back to me. What's with this sarcasm? I'm just playing a part with him. She reached for my hand. As soon as you pass my test, we'll get married. You just have to keep trying. A cold laugh echoed in my mind. So, we're done with the Amnesia Act now? It's too late for that. I pulled my hand away. I wouldn't dare dream of it, Ms. Cole. Her face clouded over. She pulled a card from her purse and tossed it on my desk. Are you mad that I made you apologize? Here's $500,000 for your emotional distress. Is that enough? I picked up the card. I wasn't about to argue with money. My emotional distress is indeed worth $500,000. Thank you for your astute valuation, Ms. Cole. Her expression softened again. She reached out, her hand sliding around my waist. Don't call me Ms. Cole. I'm still your Sophia. I push her away. I can't do that. You're my client, and the client is always right. Her temper flared. Ethan, that's enough. Don't push your luck. I'm giving you 1 week. If you don't come back to me by then, we are done for good. I ignored her, pretending I didn't understand. If there's nothing else, Ms. Cole, you can leave now. Her face was a mask of fury. You just wait, Ethan, she snarled. I have plenty of ways to make you beg. She slammed the door on her way out. I forced myself to focus and get back to work. The project for Sophia was a pair of matching rings. I locked myself in my office and worked through the night. By morning, I had the first sketches, the design, concept finally clear in my mind. I stared at the drawing of the 2 rings, a bitter smile on my lips. One for the man, representing eternity. One for the woman, representing everlasting. Together, they formed forever. The inspiration came from a sunset we'd watched at the beach. As the sky darkened, Sophia had snuggled against me and whispered, "The sunset is too short. I want to be with you for an eternity, forever and ever." I would never forget that feeling, the sheer bliss of it. For me, that was love. I promised her I would cherish her for the rest of my life. Now, everything had changed. These rings spoke of a love that was no longer mine. It was a love story for Leo and Sophia. After working all night, I was heading home to get some rest when a wave of dizziness washed over me at the office door. My assistant, Clara, rushed to my side. "Ethan, are you okay?" I wanted to tell her I was fine, but my body betrayed me. I pitched forward and collapsed. When I woke up, I was in a hospital room. Clara was looking at me, her face etched with worry. "Ethan, you can't keep pushing yourself like this. The doctor said you're not well, and pulling all-nighters is incredibly dangerous for your health." I shook my head, telling her not to worry, but the thought of the unfinished design gnawed at me. My surgery was in less than 3 weeks. If I didn't finish the sketches now, and the surgery caused me to lose my memory, all my work would be lost. I pushed myself up, asking Clara to help me with the discharge papers. She begged me to stay and rest, but I was stubborn. She finally relented, helping me out of the room. We'd only taken a few steps down the hall when I saw the last 2 people on Earth I wanted to see. It was Sophia and Leo. Clara greeted them politely. "Ms. Cole, Mr. Vance, you're at the hospital too." The 2 of them, hand in hand, looked straight through my junior assistant, as if she were invisible. I figured they didn't want to see me any more than I wanted to see them, so I just kept walking, planning to pass them without a word. Suddenly, Sophia spun around and blocked my path. "Ethan, didn't you see me? Are you blind? I saw you." I stated, my voice flat. "You saw me, and you didn't say hello? What's that supposed to mean?" she demanded, her tone laced with indignation. "It wasn't necessary," I replied coldly. She immediately pulled rank, looking for a way to needle me. "Is that how you treat a client? Does her boss know about this attitude? 1 phone call from me, and you could be out of a job." I didn't say a word. Let her get me fired. My health was failing anyway. A break would be for the best. I had enough saved up to last me the rest of my life. Clara, terrified I would get in trouble, rushed to apologize for me. "Ms. Cole, Ethan wasn't being disrespectful. He's just not feeling well. He pulled an all-nighter to work on your ring design. That's why he's sick." At her explanation, Sophia's angry expression softened. She looked at me, a flicker of concern in her eyes. "Ethan, you're sick? Why didn't I know?" A cold laugh rose in my throat. The diagnostic report for my brain tumor had been sitting in my nightstand drawer for weeks. If she'd cared about me at all, she would have seen it. I could never bring myself to tell her. I didn't want her to worry. But a part of me had always hoped she would find out on her own, that she would show some concern. Now I knew that was pointless. "It has nothing to do with you," I reminded her. "We broke up." Leo chimed in with a sneer. "You're not faking it, are you? Just jealous that Sophia was so worried about me when I got hurt." Sophia looked at me with a playful, triumphant smirk. "Ethan, give it up. Even if you pretend to be sick, I'm not coming back." I was too tired to argue. "Fine. Believe I'm faking it," I said, shrugging. With Clara's help, I went to finish my discharge. The doctor saw me and immediately began to lecture me. "What are you doing? You can't be discharged in this condition. You need to be admitted for rest and observation before your surgery." Sophia, who had followed us, overheard the doctor. She rushed over, her voice sharp with alarm. "What surgery? Ethan, are you really sick?" I pressed my lips together, refusing to give her the satisfaction of an answer. She turned on the doctor, desperate. "Tell me, what's wrong with him?" The doctor looked her up and down. "And who are you to him?" "His girlfriend," she said without a second's hesitation. "Ex-girlfriend," I corrected. The doctor shook his head. "That makes sense. The man's been sick for 3 years, and you had no idea. No wonder you're an ex." Sophia had never been spoken to like that. She grabbed the doctor's collar, her voice threatening. What did you just say? I shove her away. Sophia, that's enough. Leave innocent people out of this. My business is not your concern. Humiliated in public, she lashed out with a vicious threat. You think I want to be concerned? I'm just worried you'll screw up my plans. Leo and I are getting engaged next week. If that ring design isn't finished, you can get ready to be sued into bankruptcy. My vision swam. What? A week? We agreed on 2 months for delivery. I changed the date, she said, a smug look on her face. Leo can't wait. You want to get engaged right away. Clara, incensed, spoke up for me. Ms. Cole, we can't possibly produce a final design if you change the deadline so drastically. Sophia's rage flared. She swung her hand and slapped Clara across the face. Who the hell are you? Well, I'm talking to Ethan. Do you have any right to interrupt? Are you in love with him or something? Don't be pathetic. I wouldn't want the trash I threw out, and I certainly don't want anyone else picking it up. Clara stumbled to the ground. Ignoring the scrape on her knee, she looked at me with worried eyes. I felt a bitter, self-deprecating pain. To be called trash by my ex-girlfriend. I must have been the first man in history to earn that title. Suppressing my shame and anger, I helped Clara up and asked if she was okay. She shook her head. I'm fine, Ethan. Don't listen to her. I insisted the doctor look at her cheek and paid for the treatment. Sophia watched us, her expression a mask of contempt. What? Feeling sorry for your little assistant. You think you could protect her? If you don't get back to work on my design right now, I have plenty of ways to make her suffer. Clara looked Sophia straight in the eye, her voice steady. You lay a hand on me again, and I'll call the police. I don't know what power you think you have, but I'm telling you now, I'm not afraid of you. Even if I lose my job, I will speak up for Ethan. Confronted, Sophia's face darkened. She raised her hand to strike Clara again. I caught her wrist. Enough. Leave innocent people out of this. You just want to humiliate me, don't you? Fine. You win. I walked out of the hospital and went straight to the office. Fighting through the waves of dizziness and pain, I worked through another night. Finally, I poured the last of my feelings for Sophia into the design. When I handed the final sketches to my boss, his eyes lit up. This is incredible, Ethan. A masterpiece in 2 nights. I'm telling you, this will win awards. Ms. Cole is going to love it. I didn't care if she loved it or not. I dropped the portfolio on his desk and went home to sleep. 2 straight all-nighters had pushed my body to its absolute limit. I felt like I was dying. If I didn't rest, I wouldn't have a life left to live. But I'd barely fallen asleep when my phone rang. It was Sophia. Ethan, I love the rings, she gushed. Let's get engaged next week. This is my surprise for you. I coughed, a metallic taste filling my mouth. I spat into the sink. Blood. Sophia, are you playing with me? Do you have any idea what it took for me to finish this design? What did it take? She said, her tone light and dismissive. You pulled a couple of all-nighters. I gave you $600,000, and I'm willing to humble myself and marry you. You should be thrilled. With the last of my strength, I forced the words out. There's no need to humble yourself, Ms. Cole. The rings were designed for you and Leo. You two are a perfect match. I'm not worthy. She shrieked at me over the phone, but I didn't listen. I blocked her number, turned off my phone, and collapsed in a bed. Less than half an hour later, my boss was knocking at my door. Ethan, I need your help. I don't know what happened with Sophia. She loved the design. Then after a phone call, she suddenly hates it. If we don't revise it to her specs immediately, we're facing a massive lawsuit. My head throbbed as I dragged myself out of bed. My boss didn't know about the tumor. He just thought I was exhausted. He drove, letting me doze in the car. On the 30-minute drive, Sophia called him incessantly, demanding to see me at once. A bitter smile played on my lips. Sophia really was trying to kill me. Fine, let her have her wish. After we arrived, I sat numbly in the conference room, listening as Sophia, her lips painted a blood red, listed every single thing she now hated about the design. She ordered me to have the revised sketches on her desk within 24 hours. It couldn't delay her engagement party. I just nodded, saying nothing. My boss and colleagues, sensing the toxic atmosphere, quietly slipped away, leaving us alone. She moved closer, her presence cloaked in a cloying men's cologne. I never wore cologne. It had to be Leo's. I sneezed and instinctively pushed her back. If you have something to say it. Don't stand so close. Sophia slammed her fist on the table, her eyes flashing with the sting of rejection. Ethan, why do you have to fight me on this? Just be obedient, and I'll take care of you. But if you think you can defy me, I will break you. I leaned back in the chair, my voice barely a whisper. Sophia, do you even love me? You'd have better control over a cat or a dog. There are plenty of guys who would be your loyal servant. Why are you so determined to destroy me? She froze, stunned into silence. I took a deep breath, picked up the pencil, and began to alter the design. Under the guidance of her unprofessional feedback, the elegant sketch devolved into a chaotic, grotesque mess. A wave of sadness washed over me. The design was just like our love. Once a beautiful work of art, now a ruined draft. Sophia seemed to realize something. You really don't love me anymore, do you? A hot, metallic fluid surged up my throat. I coughed, spraying a fine mist of blood across her face. Do you even have the right to talk about love? I gasped. Sophia screamed. Ethan, what's wrong? Don't scare me. And then, I lost consciousness completely. The next time I opened my eyes, I was in a hospital bed. My boss, my colleagues, and my assistant Clara were all there. Clara's eyes were red and swollen. Ethan, you scared us to death. Your tumor was that serious. Why didn't you tell me? The doctor said if you'd arrived half an hour later, you would have died. I touched my head, feeling the thick bandages. It's okay now, right? The tumor's gone. The root of the problem is gone. As my colleagues were fussing over me, a stylishly dressed woman burst into the room. She fell to her knees, begging for my forgiveness. Ethan, it was all my fault. Please, can you forgive me? I shook my head, confused. Ma'am, I'm sorry. I don't believe we've met. I don't think we have anything to forgive. The woman stared at me, her face pale with shock. Ethan, what's wrong with you? It's me, Sophia, your girlfriend. You haven't forgotten me, have you? The doctor stepped in. Brain surgery can sometimes cause memory loss, he explained gently. Sophia collapsed onto the floor, sobbing. No, he remembers everyone else. He can't have forgotten me. He loves me too much. He could never forget me. The doctor just shook his head. Mr. Miller has been dealing with this condition for 3 years. If you were his girlfriend, how could you not know? Every time he came to the hospital, he was alone. You, on the other hand, were here often, but always with another gentleman. With that level of carelessness in a relationship, it's no surprise he wouldn't want to remember you. I clutched my head. Her presence was making it ache, a dull throb that resonated deep in my chest. Miss, I pleaded, could you please leave? I don't want to see you. Clara, her face flushed with anger, grabbed a broom from a supply closet and started ushering Sophia toward the door. You're the one who worked Ethan into the ground. He almost died because of you. Do you want to kill him for good this time? Tears streamed down Sophia's face, snot mingling with her mascara. She was a complete mess. She didn't fight back, just clung desperately to the doorframe. I just want to make it up to him. I won't hurt him again. My boss glared at her. Ms. Cole, we won't be taking any more of your contracts. If you have any conscience left, leave Ethan alone. Even the doctor intervened. Ma'am, your presence here is agitating the patient. It's not good for his recovery. Please come back another time. Pushed out by everyone, Sophia stumbled away, weeping. Watching her lonely figure disappear down the hall, I felt no pity, only relief. My boss gave me a 3-month medical leave. Every day after work, Clara would come to visit, bringing different meals she'd cooked. She called it looking after a colleague, but I could see it in her eyes. It was more than that. 3 months later, I was fully recovered. Clara was with me as I signed the final discharge papers. As we walked out of the hospital, I gently took her hand from my arm and laced my fingers with hers. I'm all better now, I teased. You don't need to hold me up. Or are you just trying to take advantage of me? Clara blushed, her gaze filled with an affection she no longer tried to hide. She met my eyes bravely. I just like being close to you. Are you willing to let me? I squeezed her hand. If I wasn't, would I have let you stick around for the last 3 months? I owe you big time. Guess I'll have to repay you with my life. Her blush deepened. I swept her up into my arms, about to carry her to the car, when a sharp voice cut through the air. Stop. What do you two think you're doing? I turned. It was Sophia. Some things never change. Still so bossy, so unreasonable. Even though I didn't remember the details of our past, Clara had filled me in on everything she'd done. I knew exactly what kind of person she was. Clara tensed in my arms, a mix of anger and fear in her eyes. I remembered how bravely she had defended me, and realized she wasn't afraid of Sophia for herself. She was afraid of losing me. It was time to draw a clear line. I gently set Clara down in the passenger seat and turned to face Sophia. What we're doing, does it have anything to do with you? Sophia rushed forward and grabbed my arm. Ethan, are you really faking your amnesia? Is this another test, but this time it's you testing me? I know I was wrong. Please forgive me. Let me pass the test, okay? She opened a small box she was holding. Inside was a pair of rings, the ones called Forever. I remembered them. I had designed them. The clients were Leo Vance and his fiancée. And as Clara had told me, his fiancée was Sophia. I'd spent 7 years chasing her, and she'd never given me the time of day. Clara wasn't just my assistant. She was my oldest friend, the one I confided in every time Sophia hurt me. She knew everything. And now, here was Sophia, showing me the rings she'd had made for her engagement to another man. What was her game now? As if reading my mind, Sophia started explaining. Ethan, these rings were always meant for us. Leo was just an act. I know what I did hurt you, and I don't blame you for this. For being with Clara. When you get tired of playing games, just come back to me. She knelt on one knee, holding the open ring box up to me. Ethan, marry me. Please. I swatted the box from her hand, the rings scattering across the pavement. My voice was filled with disgust. Sophia, you make me sick. You think everyone plays with people's hearts like you do? What I have with Clara is real. I'm not playing games with anyone. Hearing this, a radiant smile bloomed on Clara's face. She got out of the car, wrapped her arms around my waist, and pressed her cheek against my back. I didn't push her away. It felt right. Seeing us together was clearly a devastating blow for Sophia. She bit her lip so hard it bled, tears mixing with the blood as they streamed down her face. Ethan, can we really not go back? You've just lost your memory. That's why you're with her. One day, you'll remember what we had, and you'll regret this. I shook my head fiercely, desperate to sever the last tie. You give yourself way too much credit, Sophia. Even if I hadn't lost my memory, after everything you put me through, how could I ever forgive you? Give it up. It's impossible. Sophia crumpled to the ground, sobbing uncontrollably. I felt nothing. I helped Clara into the car and drove away, leaving the broken woman behind without a second glance. Clara and I started our life together. Our friends and family were all supportive. Whenever Sophia's name came up, it was with a tone of distaste. They all told me to cherish Clara, often remarking that they never understood what I saw in Sophia in the first place. Listening to them talk about my old self, I felt a wave of gratitude for the surgery. It hadn't just removed a tumor, it had excised a toxic memory. Having no lingering feelings for Sophia was the greatest gift the operation could have given me. 6 months later, I proposed to Clara. She said yes. On our wedding day, friends and family filled the hall to celebrate with us. I saw Sophia standing across the street, wearing a wedding dress, watching from a distance. I saw her, but I pretended I didn't. I quietly asked a friend to keep an eye on her, just in case she tried to cause a scene. Guests pointed and whispered, laughing about how she'd become a pariah. Over the last half year, I'd never once sought out news about her. Now, through the grapevine, I learned her story. After I lost my memory, she'd lost all interest in her work, spending her days drinking and crying. Her company, once so successful, had gone bankrupt. Her parents tried to set her up with other wealthy men, but she was lost in a depressive spiral, constantly calling out my name. Eventually, her family gave up on her, making her younger sister the new heir. Once the money and power were gone, her suitors vanished. After wringing every last cent from her, Leo had left, too. Finally, she'd given up on herself completely, a ghost of her former self, reportedly selling her body to survive. Clara, listening to the gossip, sighed. It's a shame. She was a terrible person, but she had a real talent for business. If she had just let go of her obsession, she could have found her own happiness. I wrapped my arm around my new bride as we walked out of the church. Don't waste your sympathy on people like that, I murmured. Stay far away from her. But Sophia wasn't there to make a scene. It was Leo. He came out of nowhere, driving a beat-up car, flooring it straight toward us. Ethan, he screamed, his face contorted with rage. You ruined Sophia. You ruined my chance to marry into a rich family. I'm going to kill you. I pulled Clara behind me, shielding her with my body, bracing for the impact. But then, a flash of white. Sophia, still in her wedding dress, threw herself in front of the speeding car, using the last of her strength to shove us out of the way. The tires screeched over her white dress, the fabric slowly turning crimson. Sophia, I cried out. In that instant, everything came rushing back. Every memory of her, every moment flooded my mind. I ran to her, cradling her in my arms. She looked up at me, a faint, bitter smile on her lips. You finally remember me, she whispered. That's good. And with a look of infinite peace, she closed her eyes. Sophia was dead. Leo was sentenced to death for intentional homicide. Clara and I went on to live a quiet, happy life. But sometimes when I think of Sophia, it feels like nothing more than a long, complicated dream. The end.